Hey guys, this is Simon with Caddis Fly Shop and Oregon Fly Fishing Blog, and today I'm going to show you the only dropper you're going to need under your chubby all year round. And this will be a nymph you're going to want to run under your indicator in the winter. So come on closer and I'll show you a closer look of how it looks. So taking a close look at this fly, if you look real close, if I stop spinning it, you can see there's two different size beads. This is a 5/32 fully milled bead, and this is a 1/8, and I tie it in two different sizes because this is for when I need to get really deep, and this is for when I need to fish stuff shallow. This fly is so good that I wanted to tie it in two different configurations. The only thing that changes is with the big bead, we do medium wire to rib the body, and for the smaller bead we do small wire to rib the body. Other than that, same exact fly. Sometimes you want something like this when it's really shallow and you can't have your flies going too deep. Other times you need something real serious like this. So I developed this fly looking for a do-it-all dropper pattern for the summer, and this is what I ended up with, and it crushes, and it's so good that I needed to make it in a separate size also. So you can do it in either size depending on where you like to fish and how deep you need to get. Some of you may be thinking right now, 5/32 is too much. That's fine. Do 1/8 and just size your wire down accordingly to the small soft wire from Uni instead of the medium. And if you think 1/8 is not enough, go with the medium wire from Uni. So what we're going to do to start is we're laying down a little thread base, and we're going to add some CDL for the tail. Very classic Euro style tail for a nymph. Really great material. It seems very delicate, but it does not split when it gets beat up in the water like pheasant tail does. Pheasant tail can kind of crack and fall apart, whereas this stuff bends, and even though it seems very delicate, it just lasts a long time. So you're going to take a pinch of this stuff and put it in. Let the tail be sort of long, but not too long. Maybe about the length of the hook shank. Just like that, we'll tie it in. Snip off the excess. This is a really simple fly. It's a real easy one. We're going to tie in some Magnum Flashaboo right here. And like I said, right now we're doing the 5/32 speed. That's the one I use the most for around here. But especially in the summer when fish are holding in quicker water, you need something that gets down pretty quick. Here I have the medium olive wire that we're going to tie in right here, right to the back. And then we are going to lay a thread base so that as we wrap up the tinsel, it looks nice. So you can build just a little bit of a taper. Don't need anything too crazy because we are going to use dubbing to make a bump for the CDC collar. But we're just basically trying to coat it so it wraps real nice. And I would check your work. This is why having a rotary vise is nice. You can just make sure you don't have any weird bumps or spots that you missed. So now what we're going to do is we are going to palmer this flash up for the body, and make sure your wraps are touching so you're not striping the thing. It definitely will not last as long if you're not careful about how you're doing it. So once you make sure this is not going anywhere, you can snip off the excess. And then we're going to rib this up. Purple is a color that people are very superstitious with. I personally am not, but I kind of tied this to play into that kind of superstition that people have. People really like purple, and people say it's like the last visible color on the spectrum that trout see. People think it just pops out more to trout. People are just totally superstitious about purple. I have plenty of purple flies that work well, but I also have plenty of other ones. But this combo of green and purple is one that I've always liked and done really well with. So some of this is my own superstition of green and purple for nymphs. I've caught a lot of large fish on them. I think it's just a nice contrasting color, and it just looks good. So what we're going to take now is a little bit of this Eco Warrior Dub and Olive. It's a really, really buggy dubbing. It's one of my favorites as of late. And if you watch the other videos, you've probably seen plenty of me using this stuff because it's really, really good. And what we're going to do is you're going to dub a collar pretty close to the bead, because we do want to, if we do too far down the body, you're not going to get any of the taper. See how we've got a real nice taper right here? If you put it right here, it's going to be all screwed up, and then you're going to have a spot next to the collar where it's real skinny. And if you do it too close, you're not going to have space for the CDC. I'm pretty good at squeezing stuff in, so you may want to leave a little bit more space than me. If you already did it, you can just unwind it and back it up a little bit. But I like my flies to kind of look perfect for YouTube, so I squeeze it in really, really close. But what we're going to do now is we're going to just palmer in some CDC, real simple. Again, if you have a rotary function, it's real nice. You can just grab your feather and twist and spin. And this CDC, I mean, nowadays it's tough to not find a jig nymph that doesn't have CDC. It's just such a popular material because it just works really, really, really good. It just gives you a lot of movement and just drives the fish absolutely nuts. So it's a favorite for me and a lot of other people. I'm more of a believer in CDC than purple, I'll tell you that. But I know this colorway works really, really well. It makes a really, really great searching pattern. It's kind of bright and flashy, so it catches fish's attention. And it's just really realistic. I also tie this in a 16 because summer bugs are kind of small, like all the PMDs and stuff, and water's low. So you generally don't need something huge to stand out to the fish. But you certainly could tie this in a 12 with a huge bead, or you could tie it in an 18 with a really, really little bead. That's the beauty of this fly. And don't take my instruction when whip finishing. Don't do it like that. What you're going to do then is just do a little whip finish here. If your CDC fibers are really long, you can trim them down. Generally, I don't like to, but if you have to, you can. These ones are okay, but if you have to trim it down, you can just kind of do a pinch like this and just take a little bit off the top like that. But yeah, here's the only jig nymph you need as a dropper this summer. If you're local, come on in and get this stuff. By the time the video is posted, we'll have all the stuff for it in the shop. Or if you're online, we have it on our website, Caddis Fly Shop. If you scroll down below, you can find all the links for all this stuff, and we can ship it to you pretty much same day. So catch some fish on this summer and tag us on Instagram with whatever you catch. Thanks.